One of the most important aspects of studying for the WSET 2 and 3 is mastering the different wine regions. You've got to know your Clare Valley from your Moselle Valley and your Napa Valley from your Barossa Valley. Yet so many students get totally overwhelmed and end up flunking the exam because they can't remember which facts apply to which wine region. Well, fear not, I'm here to help. I'm Sarah, a wine educator in New York City, and I've come together with Brainscape to help students like you ace the WSET exams. We've also created a comprehensive set of flashcards that'll help you nail down everything you need to know for the exam. Go check out those flashcards right now on the Brainscape website or app. But back to the problem at hand, wine regions and just how you're supposed to remember them. Here's a thought: use a map. This is my first tip, and while it seems perfectly obvious, you'd be shocked how many students study without any visual reference at all. They'll learn all about French wine, but have no idea where Bordeaux, Champagne, Burgundy, and Beaujolais are on a map of France. My advice is, when you sit down to learn about a country's wine region, look at a map. Locate each region and note where they lie in relation to each other, as well as to the significant topographical features that could influence their viticulture. So, for example, if you're studying New Zealand wines, work with a map of New Zealand. If you're studying Italian wines, work with the map of Italy. Capiche? Regular exposure to this imagery helps your brain build a mental snapshot of each wine region and what it looks like. Importantly, it also helps your brain attach facts to those images, which will be easier to remember. On to my next tip. Use Google Maps to explore each wine region in 3 dimensions. As you know, features like mountains and valleys and oceans and lakes play a huge role in climate and viticulture. And you cannot get through the WSET without knowing this stuff well. The best way to really gain a grasp of this is to, once again, use a visual aid like a map. Now, you do not have to haul out your parents' prehistoric 11-pound atlas to do this. The answer, friends, is on Google. As with so many of life's other important questions, like, why isn't 11 called 21? Here's how you can really explore the topography of a wine region. Open Google Maps and search for that wine region. Then, click on the top left-hand drop-down menu and hit the terrain filter. This will show you the topography. It's fully interactive, so you can zoom in and get as much detail as you want. Cool, right? Your brain is hardwired to remember visual imagery much better than written words. So work with your brain's hardwiring and give it this visual aid. On to tip number 3. When learning about the world's wine regions, take special note of the differences between them, particularly those regions known for the same grape varietals. For example, California and Burgundy. Both are known for producing 100% still Pinot Noirs. That's a fact you can learn. But can you explain the stylistic differences between these wines? And what makes them different? What about Sauvignon Blanc from Marlborough in New Zealand and the Loire Valley in France? It's the same grape. So why do these wines smell and taste so different? You see, it's not just enough to know that Pinot Noir is grown in Burgundy in France, or that Loire Valley and Marlborough are known for their Sauvignon Blancs. You also have to understand how these locations' terroirs are responsible for producing wines that exhibit different aroma and flavor characteristics. And on the WSET exams, they love asking you to compare wines produced in 2 different regions. At level 2, these questions are multiple choice, but as you progress to level 3, these kinds of questions become more complex. In fact, they're often asked in essay form. So the sooner you start looking at everything through this lens of comparison, the easier your studies will become. So there are your 3 tips for studying up on your wine regions. Use maps to build detailed mental imagery of each region. Use Google Maps topography filter to better visualize the unique landscapes that influence viticulture in these regions. And learn how to compare the wine regions and the reasons the wines they produce are either similar or different. One more thing, use Brainscape to help you study. The flashcard collection we've built for the WSET contains all the facts you need to know. In fact, it's what I used to study for my own wine exams. Now I'm making YouTube videos. #winning. Want even more advice on the WSET2 or just on studying and productivity in general? Check out the other videos on the Brainscape channel and subscribe to get notified whenever we post a new guide. From cork dork to cork dork, I wish you the very best. You've got what it takes. Just grab the tools at your disposal and rise to your challenge.